Muhammad Umar Farooq biological video. Please make sure to subscribe, like and share. Ask the question for answer and comment about the artwork. You can also answer question to each other for solving the problem in about this video. So here we will discuss about the phylum platyhelminthes. So the phylum platyhelminthes is also known as the flatworm. So this flatworm is the dorsi-ventrally compressed. It means it is just like a stack-like structure, which that is a compressed basically. So it contain a triploblastic acylomate. So it means coelom or body cavity are not present. So that is coelom is not present during the blastocele formation. That is a acylomate formation. So that is the triploblastic. On the other hand, the body differentiated into three layers: ectoderm, mesoderm, and endoderm. So on the other hand, it is also bilateral symmetry. It means the two half is equal to each other, equal their mirror image to become a whole body. So that's unsegmented body. It's not segment like annelida or arthropod. So a endoparasite. So this is the endoparasite is the, for example, taenia, solium, taenia, tapeworm, fasciola hepatica, that is the liver fluke, and schistosoma is the blood fluke. So this all is the evolutionary process which that begin the organ level, which going to the word the organ level. So that is the very great step as a evolutionary process. So the causes human disease, which cause the human disease obviously, and few are free living. For example, the plainaria or digestia, which that and food in fresh water. So the digestia or digestia plainaria, for example, that's so here is size is the micrometer to a long 1 meter. It is contained. That is the long short, which that is there are many variety. While case of planaria to several meter like case of basically planaria, which that is the smaller, but to several meter like worm, which that is the long. So that means to several meter like worm. So the excretory system consists of branching tubes ending in bulb-like cell. The flame cell is known. So here is the a different type of parasite or free living. So planaria, liver fluke, parasite, and tapeworm. Tapeworm is the long thread-like structure is looking like in this figure, which contain a proglottis. That is the segmented, but it is not that's like a segment body. For example, the arthropod, that is the proglottis. Proglottis mean the after the maturation to reproduce. So during the maturation, that is proglottis. Next, we will also discuss about their life cycle of the tapeworm as well as the fasciola hepatica and taenia or tapeworm. So here is the we will understand the general structure of the phylum platyhelminthes. So I am taking the planaria for understanding the general structure and their physiology of working something. So that here is the eye spot, which they are used for the phototactic movement, also contain a chemotactic receptor. So mouth is also present here, and the pharynx is the downside. While here is the structure which they are showing the whole system, which that is a reproductive and excretory structure. So here is the ocelli is also known as the eye spot is known as the ocelli. While here is the blue color shows that the ovary is the upper part is here is the ovary and oviduct. Oviduct is release the ovum into the basically into the environment or inside. So that here is the basically pink color shows that the seminar receptacle. So this seminar receptacle, which that is basically receive that is used for the receiving of the sperm as well as the ovum. So here is the vagina. So that's look like a vagina, which that is structure is that obviously. And here is a penis, which the penis is spray the sperm, while the ovary will provide the egg. And this egg and sperm will fuse together. So that is why male and female organ is the same in the one individual is known as a hermaphrodite. So that is bisexual is also. So it means the hermaphrodite is protandrous. Protandrous mean the male reproductive organ developed before the female. So here is the yolk gland are present. This yolk gland is provide the ovum. So that is a seminal vesicle is here, which that is, and here is the penis, and here is the seminal septicle. So that is the osmoregulator tubule. So this is the osmoregulator tubule, and this is the flame cell, which that is known as the osmoregulator tubule, which connect with the flame cell. We will discuss also, but first we will understand this structure. So this fertilization by the fusion of sperm and egg to give R2N, and that's again will be hermaphrodite to reproduce by this mechanism. And here is a flame cell. Let's talk about the flame cell. Flame cell contain a cilia. Cilia move just like a flickering of the flame. So that is known as the flame cell. And the cilia produce the current or counter current mechanism to attract the nitrogenous waste and other salt, etc., which that waste will be attract toward the cilia, and that means the flame cell will absorb the nutrients, which that is wasteful as compared to the benefit. So that's wasteful will go into the collecting tubule, and that ultimately go into the as a excretion. So this excretion will be opened by the basically it is open into the pharynx, and that's excrete the whole, and also digestive waste is also excreted from it. While here you can see that the flame cell, and that's a nucleus containing cell. And so important to know that these are the eukaryote containing cell, which that is specialized with the organ system. So we are going to the organ system after the protist formation, the phylum Protista to Porifera. That was the tissue level, but here is the after the cellular level to tissue level, and this is the organ system level, which contain organ. So here we will discuss about the nervous system and digestive system. So here we will discuss that here is the intestine. So here is the cerebral ganglion, which they are interconnected. It means the central nervous system is spirited development. So that's the developed the central nervous system with a ganglion. So it's used for the chemotactic movement, phototactic movement, etc. And that is the basically intestine is here, which that's a diverticulum vesicle-like structure. That is the organ. And here is the pharynx, which that is, and here is the pharyngeal chamber. So this is the pharyngeal chamber, and this is the mouth. So this is the mouth, and that means here is the lateral nerve cord. So this is the lateral nerve cord. So that means that is the lateral nerve cord and longitudinal nerve cord, which that is interconnected to the whole body and give the signal toward the central nervous system by the motor neuron and interneuron into the cerebral system, cerebral ganglion, as well as the sensory neuron also. Sensory neuron sends the signal and toward the cerebral ganglion into that central nervous system, and after these that is the give the response by the motor neuron, which that is arise from the interneuron, and that is the reflex arc like system, which that is we are also adaptive to the reflex arc part, that is the not more advanced in this case. So let's talk about the platyhelminthes. Phylum Platyhelminthes work as a parasitology. So we will discuss about the parasitic infection. So the Fistula hepatica is also basically it is basically liver fluke, which that is also known as a liver fluke, which that infect two hosts, for example sheep and human. So these adult, here is a human, which that contain a liver and digestive system. So the liver contain a bile bile pigment which are present in the gallbladder. So the gallbladder contain a bile that is also inside of the gallbladder that's developed. So here is the digestive system, which contain a stomach, a liver, which contain a two lobe, and liver attached with the gallbladder. That gallbladder is the store the breakdown of cholesterol, breakdown of bile red blood cell, and produce bile acid, cholic acid, and other thing is known as cholesterol and fatty acid fats. So here is the digestive system of the human. This digestive system is stored after the eating of the improper cooked fish. So this improper cooked fish when we will eat, and that's go into the development of basically that is the present the liver fluke. So the liver fluke is the hermaphrodite, remember. So this liver fluke will enter, and here is the liver which that is allowed to development into the gallbladder. So after the development of the gallbladder, that was the meracidium or cyst in fish. Fish contain a cyst, so that is not the adult formation. So the adult formation go into the human or sheep. So remember that before the eating, that is the Metacercurial. So the Metacercurial cyst in fish. Remember that the Metacercurial, not Meracidium. Meracidium is the before. So we will discuss later. So here is a Metacercurial cyst in fish will be occur, and this cyst improper cooked fish will be live, that is Metacercurial cyst in fish. And here is the sheep and human, which that is infected by the improper cooked fish, which contain a Metacercurial cyst in the fish meat. So here is the adult, we will discuss about that. This adult contain a hook, and that's a six hook and sucker used for the absorption of food, and the simple digestive system not developed because it is dependent to the host, and the cuticle is well developed because the prevention of the acidic media in the digestive system of the human being or sheep. So that's not epidermis is not present. So that is the hermaphrodite. Hermaphrodite means the male and female sex organ are present in the same individual, and so that is why, right? And that's in fact that is developed into the sheep. So remember this, the development of and adult formation are present into the sheep or human. So that means adult fluke will be occur into the gallbladder of the human being or sheep. So here is I am drawing that is the fish which that is improper and uncooked fish which contain a metacercurial cyst. So this cyst, metacercurial cyst, will enter into the human body by a digestive system. So after that absorption, that's go into the blood. So the metacercurial cyst will go into the blood, and after the circulation will go into the ultimately into the liver, and that is the basically mesenteric artery which that absorb. So that means splenic basically hepatic artery, hepatic vein will be allowed to move, that is metacercurial cyst. And that means here is the egg containing meracidium will be developed. How it's produced? After the adult formation into the gallbladder, that's gallbladder ultimately drain the bile pigment into the small intestine, and that's egg containing meracidium will be occur. So remember, before the draining, so here is the egg containing meracidium. So the meracidium will be formed after the metacercurial cyst will be formed, that's converted into the egg containing meracidium. So this egg containing meracidium is present, and that's go into which that live into the small intestine. So this small intestine will live into the small intestine, and that here is the digestive system, which that is the bile duct will be allowed to move that bile pigment into the liver, into the duodenum. So that's the duodenum contain a egg which that is developed from the gallbladder, that is ovum into the duodenum, which that's produced by the adult liver fluke, and that's egg containing meracidium. So this egg containing meracidium will be formed after the digestive system allowed to enter by the bile pigment, and after the defecation, that's a feces are present, and these feces contain a meracidium, and this meracidium is ingested by the snail, and thus ingested by the snail will convert the meracidium ova into the egg, and thus egg released from this envelope, and that's meracidium hatch after being eaten by the snail. So these working will be occur inside of the snail digestive system. So after all, these egg will be released, and these egg are present into the snail, and that will be convert into the sporocyst. So remember, sporocyst is contain a many spore like structure, and this spore like structure is after the division of the egg. So the egg contain a male and female or female and female chromosome. For example, it is hermaphrodite, so that is why. So here is a sporocyst will be formed, and this sporocyst will be converted into the radia. This radia is basically radia is look like this, which that is the tentacle and used for the movement, and that's radia is precursor of cerceria. So this radia is convert after all after the releasing after releasing into the basically into the water, and that's releasing into the water to convert the cerceria. So remember, here is a sporocyst form a radia, and that is present in the snail, and after the releasing into the snail, that cerceria formation from the radia, and this cerceria formation is here, and this cerceria formation, the cerceria can swim, and that's attached with the gill of the fish or inside of the fish, and that means the metacercurial cyst form. Before sporocyst convert into the radia, and radia convert into the cerceria, and the cerceria will be convert into the fish meat, into the fish part their body, and fish muscle, that is a metacercurial cyst in form, and this metacercurial cyst will be ingested by the uncooked or improper fish cooked by the human to ingest, and this metacercurial cyst will become adult into the gallbladder by the ingestion, and that is go into the gallbladder, and where the development will be occur, and after the gallbladder will be developed, and that's ultimately go into the duodenum. So that here is the medicine which that is used for the inhibition of the infection of the adult fluke. So this is the basically parazucontil. So that is the drug which that is name is difficult, but I am just giving the concept. So here is the life cycle of taenia, that is the tapeworm. So this taenia, the life cycle of taenia or tapeworm we will discuss about. Taenia or taenia. So this is the taenia is the basically taenia complete their life cycle into host, man and co. So first fascicula hepatica requires single human, which that is basically their life cycle is depend with the two hosts, also snail and human or sheep, but in this way is tapeworm is also used to host, but different host, except the co is the different as compared to the snail. which that are present in the fascia hepatica. So here is the digestive system of the human, which contain a pancreas and stomach and duodenum. So this duodenum, after the ingestion of improper cooked food, which that is the meat of the cow, which contain a basically which contain a evaginated cystic circus in upper intestine. So that is evaginated cystic circus will be formed. So these cystic circus are present into the meat, and after the ingestion, here is, you can say that the after ingestion, that is the evaginated cystic circus in upper intestine, which that is the hook like structure are present after the development from the cystic circus to a tapeworm, which that contain a hook is used for the attachment with the intestine, as well as the sucker is also present, which they are used for the hanging into the duodenum or small intestine. So here is when that is evaginated cystic circus in upper intestine will be developed into the tapeworm. So the tapeworm contain a many segment, for example hook, and here is the proglottis. So this is the proglottis contain a many proglottis, which that is immature to mature with the formation. So remember, this is the hermaphrodite, contain ovary and testes in the same proglottis. So these every proglottis contain a ovary and testes. So remember, this is the non-segmented. Why? Because it is play important function differently after the separation. So that will be separate. So that means it is going toward the evolutionary process toward the annelida to become a segmented body, is known as the earthworm segmented form. So it is not segmented, but it is the, you can say that's a semi. So it is ovary, and that's a epiglottis. Here is the testis, yolk gland, and vagina. It is not epiglottis, it's my mistake. I am saying that it is a proglottis. So that is proglottis, and the vagina is showing in the figure, and genital pore as well as sperm duct and uterus is here, and the testes produce sperm and ovary produce the ovum or egg. So that is the proglottis, ripened ovary and ripened testes containing proglottis. So here when we will defecate, that's defecation is known as the feces. This defecation contain a shelled larva in feces. Why shelled is occur? Because shelled larva is inhibit to act the enzymatically activity onto the larva. So that's why the protective sheath will be developed. So here is the core. When these shell larvae in feces are present into the grass after the feces, so these will be ingested by the cow or buffalo. So these cow will be eat, and their after eating, that's go into the intestine, and that's absorb the blood absorb these shell larva, and that's flow into the blood, and that's become a cyst in the muscle, is known as the measy beef. So that is the cyst formation. So this cyst formation is basically uncooked food will not kill this cyst, and this invaginated cystic circus will be are present after this cyst, and this cystic circus is become a infection. So here is the basically that is medicine, albendazole or enema used for the inhibition to the growth of the tapeworm. So that is the life cycle of the, here is the tapeworm, and here is the fascia hepatica, liver fluke, which that contain a sheep and human as a primary host, while the secondary host is the snail, and that is the tapeworm contain a primary is the human, while the secondary is the cow. So here is the phylum platyhelminthes, uh, we have covered the this topic about the phylum platyhelminthes, and next video we will also understand the phylum annelida and phylum arthropoda. So remember, just we are covering the zoological lecture about that lecture tutorial. So I hope you make sense about the Fascicula hepatica, which that is the class of the platyhelminthes, and plainaria, which that the free living Digestia, and taenia solium is the tapeworm, which that is also parasitic lifestyle. So they depend to the two host. So thanks for watching. Please subscribe the channel and keep sharing this video to your fellows and your friends.